Everyone mentioned today is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, and everything I discuss here is theory until proven fact, even if it is.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean, and I bring it to the mad light, ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short, so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do, that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah bitch I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on the shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories I forget. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread, with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel?
Hey guys, how you going? Good to see you all. How you going, Alex? Kai, Deb, out to lunch. Good to see you guys. Shannon. Good to see you too, because I can't see anyone else. Hang on. Oh dear. Sherry, how you going? Good to see ya. Who else have we got? Is that it? All we got? Hang on. Oh, my mouse is... I forgot to change the batteries. The mouse is doing something funny. Okay, you're getting innuendoed, Shannon. Are you? By YouTube? Oh, dear. Okay. Hey, Flyby Stew. Graceful and Trippy, how you going? Okay, let's get into some news. And I'm starting to feel better, but I'm still not feeling 100%, so I'm still not on screen just yet. I will be very shortly. Okay, Mike Pompeo says it's wonderful to see Kazakhstan, join the Abraham Accords. As Secretary of State, when the Accords first came together in 2020, the roadmap we laid out was clear. Work towards peace by incentivising Muslim nations to normalise relations with Israel and forge economic and people-to-people partnerships. On behalf of all who want to see a secure and prosperous Middle East, thank you to President Tokayev, I have no idea, for taking this brave step. Okay, that would be ideal, but I don't know. Can the Muslims do that without wanting to conquer the world? I don't know. Larry Cook, maybe Trump can do it. I don't know. Larry Cook said autism. Oh, this is one I want to know if Tim Eyre can join us tomorrow, so I'm going to have to message him. And we're going to do a Rumble medical stream tomorrow. Hopefully. Either way, I think I'll have to do it myself anyway, but hopefully Tim Eyre can join us because I'd really like his input into this because it goes to the vagus nerve as well. Okay, I've got a few things in the medical file. So I would really like to talk to him about that. Hey, Zal. Hey, J1. Good to see you guys. Okay, Mick Amias said Australia is such a basket case. Tell me something I don't know. What the hell kind of government makes new laws that requires streaming services to make Australian content? What? Anthony Albanese said we've introduced new laws requiring streaming services to make Australian content. Now, what does he mean by that? Does he mean Australian propaganda? Oh, my God. What the hell does that even mean? Hey, Cassandra. Hey, you going? Good to see ya. Yeah, I don't even know what that means. Does anyone else know what that means? Because all I can think of is propaganda. Okay, and something different. I'm not going to put my 2 cents into a lot of this, so I'm going to let you make up your mind what you think without my input. But I might ask questions. Nicki Minaj said, so happy to see Kanye publicly take accountability for the pain his words have caused so many. Standing with our Jewish brothers and sisters. Didn't think I'd hear that from Nicki Minaj or Kanye. He actually did. Let me just undo the desktop audio so that you can hear it. I had to mute it so it didn't echo in the intro. Okay, give me a sec.
I feel really blessed to be able to sit here with you today and just take accountability. I was dealing with some various issues, dealing with bipolar also. So it would take the ideas I had and have them taken them to an extreme where I would forget about the protection of the people around me and myself. So I wanted to come and take accountability. Sometimes people aren't that knowledgeable about the bipolar and the cause or what causes it and the way you act when you have this disease. So it's like if you left the house and you left your kid at the house and your kid went and messed up the kitchen and messed up the garage and messed up the living room, and when you get back, it's your responsibility because that's your child.
Okay, what he's doing is he's apologising to the Israels, okay, for the pain he's caused so many. Okay. I'm not going to say a word. This one I might. Insurrection Barbie said Stalin hated Jews and Hitler hated Jews. There's a reason the extremes on both sides of the aisle hate the Jews. I have a correction to make because Hitler was not right-wing. They were both left-wing. They needed a scapegoat to rally people and make them forget about logic, reason and common sense. They need you stupid and emotional so they can convince you to give up your rights and freedoms. Now, I agree probably with the rest of it. I think they are scapegoated a lot. Because what happened to the Vatican and the Vatican City of London and Washington, D.C.? What happened to the Black Pope? What happened to, who were we blaming before? Like, where did all this, like the Jews cause everything, kind of thing come from? Because I don't think it's just them. And I think a lot of it is those who say they are Jewish but are not, which is written in the Bible. Okay? So I think there's a lot going on with that we don't know. So don't jump on the, hate the Jews, everything. They're responsible for everything because there's a lot more at play than just them. Okay? And the ones that do, I think, are the ones who say they are Jews but are not. In the Bible, it also said those who say they're Christian but are not. Like Barack Obama was a Muslim Brotherhood person, and yet got on stage and told everyone he was Christian. Okay. Anyway, that's just my thoughts, okay? Cynical Publius said the cancer on the right at the moment is this, MAGA or MEGA. So make America great again or make Israel great again. This is what it's all about. Choose. Really? In the world of reason, that is a logical error known as a false dilemma. It's not one or the other. It came out of nowhere just before an election was suddenly everywhere, which leads me to believe it's a paid information campaign designed to rip apart the MAGA movement. Please do not fall for it or promote these fallacies purveyors. Watch this space tomorrow. I have a new article coming out that thoroughly trashes this disgusting lie. Well, you know what? Am I following this person? Because I'm going to follow them to see what that article is. Because I do believe that someone's trying to rip apart the right. Some people are trying to rip apart the right. Try and divide and conquer again. See? That's how it always works. Sun Tzu said we give too much credit to the deep state. While their web is vast, global, insidious, it cannot compete with God's sovereignty and providence. I realise that half the world leaders bow to Satan. I get the fear. But don't forget, a shadow of our army of patriots has been countering them since George Washington's era. After the JFK assassination, these patriots locked in a master plan to dismantle the cabal, tweaking it by decade by decade. That plan is being executed now in real time. 1 year into Trump's admin with no deep state arrests feels like a long time, but this blueprint was forged in the fires of 1963, the JFK assassination. Patience isn't weakness, it's strategy. I know many are tired of anons like me dropping, trust the plan. If you can't read the writing on the walls by now, you're choosing blindfolds. The Great Awakening is spreading like wildfire, and that's something to witness. It really is. To be awake before a lot of people, and there's people who've been awakened much longer than I have, but to be awake before a lot of people and to just watch this like explode is amazing. The public spots more snakes in the grass than 4 years ago. Yeah, everyone's pointing out everything. Major arrests must drop before the 2026 midterms. Trump knows the stakes. I'm locked in, standing by our president. Pray for him. Where we go one, we go all. And I agree. And it has. That's what Q was talking about too. The JFK assassination, all that kind of stuff. Hey Janelle, how you going? Good to see you. Have I missed anyone else? I don't know. I don't think so. I hope not. Anyway, if I've missed you, I'll say hello shortly. Bad Hombre said this is absolutely insane. Obama appointed Judge John J. McConnell Jr. is ordering the Trump administration to pay the full amount of SNAP benefits for the month of November. That would total to around $9 billion. The emergency fund that exists to cover SNAP during national emergencies is $6 billion. Not only is he trying to usurp the authority of the sole power of the executive to spend money appropriated by Congress, the judge is demanding that Trump break several laws and violate the Constitution by going around Congress to find an additional $3 billion from anywhere in the budget to make up the shortfall. This judge is trying to force the president to violate Article 1, Section 9, Clause 7, the Anti-Deficiency Act, and the Impoundment Control Act. These judges really do think they're kings. Ignore them. Yeah, I agree. If the judges can overrule the president, what do you have a president for? Anyway, they can't win. They won't win. Don't forget God wins, okay? We win. MJ Truth Ultra said, who are the 17%? Anybody in here from the 17%? What's the 17th letter of the alphabet? Yep. Don't raise your hand. It might be dangerous. Drop a frog if you're an anon, still going strong. That's what those frogs are about, okay? The Pepe memes are frogs. And that is all linked back to Q. Okay, anyway, let's have a look.
17%. Anybody in here from the 17%? Don't raise your hand. It may be dangerous. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17. 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17. So I think I might have been in Washington 17 times in my life. 17, 17, and 17, 17, 17, 17. 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17.
There's nearly another minute of this. How many times he says 17?
17 minutes ago. I held up the phone and just coming in. 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17. So you had 17 Republicans plus me. 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17.
Okay, I think we get it now. There's another 15 minutes of it. Sorry, 15 seconds, not 15 minutes. Where's my head at? MJ Truth Ultra said, remember when Elon Musk hid a 17 in his post? Where? Oh, yep, there. 17. Or 171111111111111. Interesting. I don't remember that. I probably didn't see it. Okay, where was I up to? Oh, they've got a lot of good bookmarks here. Okay, we're up here. How did it jump that far? Okay, Ivan Raiklin to FBI Director Cash, FBI Deputy Director Bongino, and Jim Stewartson. Subject $500,000. Do you know what this is? This person was a Capitol Police officer or something like that. And apparently people are theorising that this person was the pipe bomber. Let's just make sure and have a look. I'm sure that's what they mean. Capitol Police officer who first fired on the crowd. And Ivan Raiklin said, oh, I don't know. A former Capitol Police officer who left to a bigger Fed agencies like so many other do, all of a sudden's a pipe bomber because she was part of a... Okay, that person's sticking up for them. Reread the tweet. How did you come up with that conclusion? I'm just alerting Cash that if he's serious, he may want to convince Loudermilk to ask this person of any training materials that may have been used by USCP that look similar to what was placed at DNC and CHC on J5. A lot of people are theorising it's a woman. Someone, Ivan Raiklin, has theorised it might be this person. Okay, now we don't know for sure, so... yeah, don't go after anyone. God. You kind of have to say that these days. How you going, George? Good to see you. Mario Northall said if most don't notice the shutdown, what's being funded? US government shuts down and for most Americans, life goes on. No disruption, no chaos, just silence. That should be alarming. A federal budget of over $6 trillion should mean its absence is felt in every corner of daily life. Instead, it vanishes and only a small fraction of the population notices. That disconnect points to a deeper issue, massive inefficiency, misplaced priorities and a bloated bureaucracy that doesn't actually serve most Americans. Yes, real people are impacted, federal workers, military families and low-income Americans. But if a shutdown only affects a thin slice of the country, here's the big question. Where is the rest of the money going? Where do you think it's going? Through a washing machine of some sort, the laundromat, Why is so much of our federal footprint invisible until it's used as political leverage? A government shutdown should expose vital functions grinding to a halt, not highlight how little of it is truly essential. If Americans barely notice when it's gone, then maybe it's time to question what the population is really paying for. Very interesting. Okay, Adrian Hilton said, I've seen numerous videos from Birmingham tonight, looks like UK, and it seems to me that the police have acknowledged an Islamic territorial supremacy. Anyone who is suspected of winding up Muslims, even with theological discussion, is either arrested or removed and detained in a holding pen. No threats of violence, no breach of the peace necessary, just a minority report suspicion of pre-crime, the threshold of which is mere presence. If the government doesn't begin to manage this now by asserting people's freedoms, in a decade it'll be too late. So you got the same thing Sydney's got. They've got Islamic territorial supremacy in certain suburbs. And we've got them in our parliament as well. Just like the UK and just like the US now. Although I don't think he's doing very well, Mandami. A lot of people are having regrets straight away. Steve Ferguson said, hey, Rand Paul, you moved to block Senator Kennedy's plan to block members of Congress from getting paid during the government shutdown. At almost the same time, you suggested raising the Social Security retirement age to 70. So you want to get paid and yet raise retirement age? How swampish. Yeah, Rand Paul, yeah, he is, okay? He has been for years. He does say some good things that get you, and then, he's just shows himself again and again and again and again. Mike Engelman said John Thune knows Democrats are going to block every bill at every turn. He should have just ended the filibuster January 20th at 5 p.m. Thune has burned 9 months of President Trump's term, so how many more months is he going to help the Democrats? We lost 9 months of bills not being passed and stalling. It's not that he thinks we're all stupid and we don't know anything. He just wants to let Democrats run the Senate. It's ridiculous and treasonous. Rhinos are stalling for the Democrats, and if and when Democrats ever get back in control of the Senate, they will end the filibuster in the first 5 minutes. Whoa. Trump said, if Republicans kill the filibuster, they sail to victory for many years to come. If they don't, disaster waiting to happen. And what about that 45 or whatever amount of days that it is until he can start holding people accountable while the government's shut down? What was that I read the other day? I have to look it back up again. Okay, News Blast 17, because I can't pronounce this, said this is what it is like as I scroll through my feed today. This is what it's like on YouTube as I scroll through my feed and Twitter and everything. Black pill, complain, turn on Trump, black pill, complain, black pill. These are times that try men's souls. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will in this crisis shrink from the service of their country, but he that stands by it now deserves the love and thanks of man and woman. Tyranny like hell is not easily conquered, yet we have this consolation with us. The harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. What we obtain too cheap, we esteem too lightly. It is dearness only that gives everything its value. Heaven knows how to put a proper price upon its goods, and it would be strange indeed if so celestial an article as freedom should not be highly rated. Sorry, I was getting sidetracked by little ones going past my window. Yeah, it's gonna be a long, hard fight. So don't back out, okay? Keep pushing one day after the other, 1 foot in front of the other. Oh, I included this because I didn't want to bookmark the one. Hang on, tired of seeing this dude. Oh yeah, I want to end wokeness. Michelle Obama complains about her life. It's not a luxury to have hair and makeup team. Really? I can't even get a haircut once a year. Can't afford it. They're like $80 just for a cut now. $85, actually. And it's not a luxury to have hair and makeup team, really?
Yeah. Well, I didn't really have that choice as first lady.
Of course,
right?
yeah.
Every day, every time I was up, as we called it, I was up for the public.
Yes.
And the days were long. So as you mentioned, to save time.
Yes.
I know having a glam team, a trifecta, it feels like a luxury, but it was a time necessity.
Yes.
There's absolutely no way that I would be able to.
Yeah, because you couldn't look like that on your own, could you? They had hours to work on it to make a... Sorry.
Do my hair and makeup and have clothes ready that fit, because rare is the woman that can live off the rack.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who's the puppet on the other end of this? Tired of seeing this dude. Oh, me too. Anyway, it probably takes a team of hairstylists and makeup artists to, get her looking, a bit like a woman. Man, I feel like a woman. Brianna Morello said, is the federal government attempting to stop a journalist from reporting on the J6 pipe bomber? They wouldn't do that, right? Steve Baker said, update on the J6 pipe bomber report. After an abundance of counsel from trusted parties within and outside the government, we've hit the pause button so those interested parties can have some more time to look at the J6 pipe bomber evidence. There are things they need to do internally. This is a real story. When it breaks, it's going to be a huge story. There are a lot of moving parts, but we need to give them time to do what they need to do. And I know everyone's waiting. Believe me, tensions are running high. There have been a lot of sleepless nights the last 2 weeks, but this is a game changer, and we don't want to do anything to jeopardise that right now, which is what I believe they're doing with the Charlie Kirk investigation and court case. Yeah. And the gag order, which Candice is not a part of. Anyway, sorry, I have to slip that in. Oh, my God. Ever since she said she was going to break the gag order, she's not even a part of it. I'm sorry, I can't help laughing at it. Okay, but this is a game changer. We don't want to do anything to jeopardise that right now. I was up at 3:30. I'm talking about the pipe bomber now, sorry. I was up at 3:30 a.m. preparing the video clips for the release on this morning's Glenn Beck program. Contrary to what so many ex-complainers will say, this wasn't a hype stunt for views and clicks. And no, the government didn't silence us. Glenn and I were both pretty amped up to pull it all out this morning, and we were both very disappointed when the decision to postpone was made. The government's investigation into the J6 pipe bombs was going nowhere just 2 weeks ago. Today, I can tell you, all that has changed. A bunch of people got pretty spun up yesterday. Hang tight, it's all coming. And the reason that a lot of people think it's a female is because of the way they walk, the way they carry themselves. A lot of people believe that they are trying to look like they are a man, I think a computer analysis of the walk has pinned it down to someone with 94% accuracy or something. I don't know if I trust it. But anyway, Cara Castronova, I think, that's how you say it. An incredible source just told me the J6 pipe bomber was a female Capitol police officer. And this is from the Gateway Pundit, I believe, is it? Yep. Okay. I have no more information except to say that, this person works for it. I have no more information except to say that I trust this source 100%. The source has spoken to others. They know her identity. I have no choice but to put this out to protect myself. I didn't ask for this information, but because a source dropped it on me, I now have no choice but to report what I was told. It's not safe to go to sleep with secrets. In the end, God wins. Phil 4:13. Okay. Let's go back down memory lane for a minute. Diane McKenzie said, remember when? Remember when it took 5 minutes for the TV to warm up? Nearly everyone's mum was home when the kids got home from school. Nobody owned a purebred dog. You'd reach in a muddy gutter for a penny. Your mother wore nylons that came in 2 pieces. All male teachers wore ties and female teachers had their hair done every day and wore high heels. You got your windscreen cleaned, oil checked and petrol pumped without asking, all for free, every time. It was considered a great privilege to be taken out to dinner at a real restaurant with your parents. And they threatened to keep children back a year if they failed the school year, and they did. When a Ford Zephyr was everyone's dream car and people went steady, spinning around, getting dizzy and falling down was a cause for giggles. Playing cricket with no adults to help the children with the rules of the game. Bottles came from the corner shop without safety caps and hermetic seals because no one had yet tried to poison a perfect stranger. And with all our progress, don't you wish just once you could slip back in time and savour the slower pace and share it with the children of today? Yes, especially as my phone is ringing in the background. When being sent to the headmaster's office was nothing compared to the fate that awaited you at home. Basically, we were in fear for our lives, but it wasn't because of drive-by shootings, drugs, gangs, etc. Our parents and grandparents were a much bigger threat, but we survived because their love was greater than the threat. As well as summers filled with bike rides, cricket, hula hoops, skating and visits to the pool, eating lemonade, powder or licorice sticks, didn't that feel good to just go back and say, yes, I remember that? Who can remember the perfect ages, somewhere between old enough to know better and too young to care? Who can still remember the Lone Ranger and Sergeant Bilko, Coca-Cola in bottles, blackjacks and bubblegums, home milk delivery in glass bottles with tinfoil tops, hi-fis and 45 RPM records, 78 RPM records. I remember 33 as well. Adding machines, Scalextrics. Do you remember a time when decisions were made going eeny, meeny, miny, mo? Race issue meant arguing about who ran the fastest? Catching tadpoles could happily occupy an entire day. It wasn't odd to have 2 or 3 best friends. The worst thing you could catch from the opposite sex was chicken pox. Having a weapon in school meant being taught with a catapult. We used to unwind the core of golf balls for the elastic. War was the card game, according to Hoyle. Cigarette cards in the spokes transformed any bike into a motorcycle. And taking drugs meant orange-flavoured chewable aspirin. Remember those days? Wow. Okay, Kangman Lee said this is a perpetrator, Clive Porter, who sucker punched a 45-year-old Asian man in New York City, causing him to fall into the subway tracks. And wasn't the only attack that day. He went on a spree of 5 anti-Asian attacks. He punched a 72-year-old Asian man in the face, breaking his nose, punched a 33-year-old Asian man in the head, causing him to collapse on the ground, pickpocketed an elderly Asian woman, then assaulted another elderly Asian woman. He's been arrested already 86 times prior with a criminal history of 61 felonies, 24 misdemeanours and 1 violation. How is he out on the street? He should have been locked up and never out on the streets, but because of Democrats' soft on crime policies, Asians are not safe on the streets, and the reality is number one people targeting Asians and violently assaulting us in our cities are urban blacks. Because of this, Stop Asian Hate has disappeared. This is the largest mass anti-Asian violent attack in recent years. But all the Asian influencers and celebrities are silent and will remain silent. National news won't cover this story because it was another black-on-Asian violent crime. There will be no protests, no outrage, no advocacy from Asian celebrities and activists because the race of the perpetrator is inconvenient to their racial grievance narratives. Cowards, all of you boba libs, is that how you say it? Boba? Libs, shame on you because you sold out. Asians are not safe on the streets anymore. You don't care about the Asian American community. You only care about your reputation and career, and your Asian identity is only a means to that end. You boba libs who encourage and advocate for Asians to vote Democrat are complicit in this violence against our people. Your silence is deafening. When will the black on Asian violence stop, and when will we finally get accountability for it? Unfortunately, not anytime soon, as Ma'am Dami, as the New York City mayor, promised to release even more violent criminals onto the streets. Exclusive, a 45-year-old Asian American man who was sucker punched on a J train subway platform at the Bowery station last week and fell onto the track, says suspect yelled Asian F after unprovoked assault. He suffered multiple fractures around the eye, cheek and jaw. There you go. Okay, Elon Musk said time to pull a lot of rabbits out of the hat. I think that's the message. It's about to start, guys. I'm telling you. The whole thing's about to really kick off. Vivid said the driver of a vehicle in Switzerland ran over a pro-Hamas crowd that was blocking the road. Did he make the right decision? I don't know. What do you think? Can't say. Pro-Hamas, okay, yeah. And what did he do? Well, why are they on the road? It's like the bloody climate. They're the same people anyway, the climate protesters, right? It's like that. Why are you on the road, you idiots? Okay, anyway, I'm not saying a word. Brian Romelli said Canada just did something history we'll never forget. Okay, back to the ostriches. Nor will I nor will any AI I have anything to do with. Okay. Hopefully the AI won't forget. The ostriches they slaughtered have proven immunity to the bird flu they so fear. This is the work of intellectual midgets. They hold a cure for you and your children. And you know what they did anyway? Breaking ostrich harm news. Shooting sounds are occurring in the ostrich pen. Bruce said Chris Stacey captures the moments hundreds of ostriches are chased into the kill pen for the ostrich-side holocaust. These birds are being slaughtered because they hold the cure to bird flu. Your local poultry farm is next. That's just insanity. It really is. I don't want to see anything, you know, because it'll make me cry. But yes, no, that's just wrong. That's like our government here killing all the koalas to make way for solar panels and wind turbine to cut down the forests and all that. They're crazy. Well, these people the inmates are running the asylum. Okay, they have been for a long time. Secretary Marco Rubio said the American people have been the ultimate advocate and champion for peace in POTUS. President Trump continues to build on his record as the world's ultimate negotiator, with Kazakhstan joining the historic Abraham Accords today. We're thankful to Kazakhstan for supporting the president's mission to bring peace and stability around the world. Go down, not up. The White House said, blessed are the peacemakers. Donald J. Trump said, I just held a great call between Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel and President Kasim-Jomart Tokayev of Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan is the first country of my second term to join the Abraham Accords, the first of many. This is a major step forward in building bridges across the world. Today, more nations are lining up to embrace peace and prosperity through my Abraham Accords. We'll soon announce the signing ceremony to make it official. And there are many more countries trying to join this club of strength. So much more to come in uniting countries for stability and growth, real progress, real results. Blessed are the peacemakers. Or blessed are the peacemakers. There you go. I hope it does. And what's going to happen to all the Muslims in our country trying to bring Sharia law in when Trump brings peace to the Middle East? Do they all go home? Well, they're going to have to if they want Nasara Jassara for a start. But, yeah, what do they do then? Interesting, isn't it? I don't know. I'm just asking. Inevitable West said breaking British veterans breaks down on live TV over state of country. Rows and rows of white tombs for what? A country of today? No, I'm sorry, the sacrifice was not worth the result. I fought for freedom and it's a darn sight worse now than when I fought. Let's have a listen.
What does Remembrance Sunday mean for you? What is your message?
My message is I can see in my mind's eye those rows and rows of white stones of all the hundreds of my friends and everybody else that gave their lives for what? The country of today. No, I'm sorry. The sacrifice wasn't worth the result that it is now.
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
What do you mean by that, though?
What we fought for, and what we fought for was our freedom. We find that even now it's darn sight worse than what it was when I fought for it.
Oh, Alec, I'm sorry you feel like that, because I want you to know that all the generations that have come since, including me and my children, are so grateful for your bravery and all that for service personnel. And it's our job now, isn't it, to make it the country that you fought for. You absolutely fought for.
Is it.
And we will do. We want to...
I'm so wonderful to know there are people like you that can spread the word around.
We will do.
Younger generation.
And I guarantee that everybody watching at home will be wanting you to send lots of love. We've got another little bit special thing for you, Alec. We've got the D-Day darlings here. Come on over, guys. You've got a little special present for him. Ooh. Come and give it if you can, to thank you for all your many brave years of service and others like you.
This is our album, Alec, and I know you love a lot of the songs on there. And this is the least we can do. This is such a small thing, but you know, we love you so much, Ali.
And it's all signed for you there as
These
well.
young ladies are like my own daughters.
There you go.
What does
Like we all say, you know, they'd be rolling in their graves right now, our ancestors, what we've allowed to happen. Or what's been put on us. Yeah, they fought over tea a long time ago, man. Tax on tea. And look at us now. Malcolm Roberts said One Nation proudly confirms and repeats our call to exit the UN WHO. Died suddenly, said breaking after denying any wrongdoing in handling COVID-19 pandemic. Tedros admits that the WHO is struggling with financial difficulties since the USA withdrew its funding. Remember that? Do you support further countries withdrawing financial support to the WHO? I do. Yes, One Nation in Australia will exit the WHO. Hopefully the UN as well. Okay, Katie said Antonio Guterres urged countries to show leadership to address climate change. However, the world's three biggest polluters, China, the US and India, are all absent for the annual UN Climate Summit COP30. Australia will continue to commit to this lunacy, putting our citizens in poverty and destroying our economy. Because they're WEF puppets. Yeah, hot pants Tedros. Yep, Shannon, I agree. I can't not picture him dancing around those little hot pants at the bar with his little drinky in his hand. MJ Truth Ultra said the left found their Mexican George Floyd in Massachusetts. ICE agents choked out a poor innocent immigrant father into a seizure. Are you going to fall for it? This is what really happened. Juliana Melania, oh God, my God, Montoya, is a criminal illegal alien who entered the US illegally, was released pending proceedings under the Biden admin in 2023 and was arrested locally in August 2025 for assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, stabbing a co-worker with scissors and throwing a trash barrel at them during a workplace dispute. Federal authorities tracked her down for deportation in Fitchburg, Massachusetts during the stop. They brought the child into the front seat with them, using them as a shield and causing a scene. She's now in federal custody facing deportation. It wasn't a guy, it was a chick. ICE agents were so patient with them it took nearly 2 hours to finally get the scene under control. Oh no, the man, father, partner and their toddler were not detained. ICE allowed them to leave the scene together after paramedics treated him in an ambulance after the father was reportedly having a seizure. The father was fine, as you can see in the video, not even a hospital visit. The father is speculated to have faked his seizure during the arrest for the spectators with cameras who are actively and conveniently following ICE around. A crowd of about 20 Karens magically showed up yelling and protesting in opposition to the arrest and made sure to demonise ICE agents. These lunatics are following ICE vehicles around, trying to capture and twist every moment. Can they be done with stalking? Isn't that stalking? Anyway, the guy was in the car. What?
Some in the crowd are crying, seeing a toddler caught in the middle of an ICE apprehension.
The cruelty! There is a baby in there!
Federal agents struggle with the man, woman, and child in the car as a crowd surrounds the agents and people record the chaotic encounter.
What they ended up doing was locking arms, the mom and the dad, and they had the 2-year-old in the back. They ended up bringing her to the front.
The car was pulled over early this morning on Kimball Street.
I just got a call from ICE. They're requesting assistance. They said they need our assistance.
And as the crowd grows, Fitchburg police officers are called in.
FPD is completely different than ICE. They could have been like, you can't be here without a warrant in hand, this, that, but they just let it happen.
Tensions flare as people clash with ICE agents, and frustration grows with local officers who cordon off the car with police tape. Eventually, the woman's taken into ICE custody and the man's allowed to leave with the child.
There you go. I thought it was going to show him chucking the wobbly. Is this one?
Whoa. Leave me alone! Look what they're doing!
There you go.
And I'm not touching the car. Leave me alone. Look what they're doing. Stop. I got five. Back up. This is my wife. She's having a seizure. They're trying to rip the baby out of her hand.
Wow. Let the baby go. Using babies like that, that's disgusting. Sorry, but it is. Especially, if you're trying to put on a seizure, shaking the baby around, making the baby go, what's going on? And start crying and carrying on. Jesus. Flopping Aces said what looked like a celebration for Democrats after Tuesday's wins just turned into an internal bloodbath. Here's what really happened behind Pelosi's retirement. Axios dropped a bombshell headline. Follow her example. Pelosi's retirement reignites Democrats' generational warfare. That's polite code for purge. Same kind of generational knife fight we've seen in every leftist movement since 1917. Oh, Nancy Pelosi, 85, powerful, still fundraising, still winning primaries, suddenly decides to retire? That's not timing, that's timed. And it came days after the rise of one man, Zohran Mamdani, the 34-year-old socialist mayor of New York City. Pelosi was crushed politically by what the article calls the Mamdani family farmhouse, a metaphorical house that just landed squarely on top of the old guard. And the irony? Pelosi helped build it. The parallels are historical and chilling. When the left consolidates power, it always purges its elders. The Bolsheviks did it, Mao did it, Castro did it, Pol Pot perfected it. Now it's the Democrats' turn. And this isn't hyperbole. Axios and the New York Times are openly calling it generational warfare. Democrats aren't hiding it anymore, they're celebrating it. Pelosi's sudden fall set off a wave of retirement encouragements. Younger Democrats are now lining up to primary anyone over 70. They call it fresh leadership. What they mean is make room. 716. Take Luke Bronnan was 46 versus John Larson 77, or Jasmine Clark at 42 versus David Scott at 80. The knives are out and they're not even pretending it's about policy anymore. It's age, pure, weaponized age. Michael Goldberg wrote it bluntly in the New York Times. Pelosi's retirement sets an example for a party with a serious gerontocracy problem. She even lists their ages like a grocery receipt, 77, 80, 88. It's not subtle. Oh, sorry, that was 8 out of 16. 9 out of 16, sorry. The party that spent a decade lecturing America about inclusion has a newism to love ageism. The same crowd that preached about diversity now wants to purge anyone who remembers what dial-up internet sounded like. And who's the face of this new revolution? Zohran Mamdani, 34 years old, socialist, anti-Israel, TikTok fluent and adored by young male voters. He just beat the establishment so badly they're rewriting their playbook overnight. The media calls it a pivot to affordability. That's code. Affordability now means economic populism for Gen Z, rent, loans, Uber fees and Wi-Fi bills. Forget ideology, Democrats just want the youth vote back at any cost. The left has realised what it built under Biden, DEI, identity obsession and endless moral policing can't sell to young men. So they're shifting back to classic Marxism, divide by class, not gender. But this pivot is dangerous. Pelosi's exit isn't renewal, it's panic. The Democrats are trying to rebuild their entire plane while it's in the air, mid-flight, mid-storm. Sun Tzu warned, he who acts hastily will be easily defeated. The purge is on, the old guard's being eaten alive. Pelosi's fall isn't the end of a career, it's the start of a generational coup. And the call, as Axios puts it so perfectly, is coming from inside the House. Pelosi falls, Mamdani rises, and the night of the long knives inside the Democrat Party. Wow, interesting. Okay, now where am I? Okay, Ann Vandersteel said Pelosi's brown shirts were armed and dangerous and fired upon unarmed MAGA on J6. They did not deploy their less than lethal weapons safety upon Americans at the Capitol exercising their First Amendment rights on J6. This is the mob who rules today. We need all the information as to this op blasted on TV, internet and print media 24/7. Thanks to Steve Baker, USA, and Ivan Raiklin for dedicating their lives to exposing the truth about the J6 Fedsurrection. And then it shows InfoWars. Latest analysis of footage from the J6 protests reveals that Capitol Police may have deliberately misused less than lethal weapons on peaceful protesters. Okay, so there we go. Libs of TikTok said this should be a much bigger story. Large companies are masquerading as US-based but are actually owned by foreign companies and governments. So foreigners are hiding behind US-based to lobby Congress. The German government owns a piece of T-Mobile's parent company. GE Appliance has been owned since 2016 by a Chinese-based group. Smithfield Foods, which was started in Virginia, is now majorly owned by a Chinese-based group. Foreigners have influence in DC while hiding behind Made in America and pretending to be US-based. Ah, you're not the only ones who've got that problem. We had the same thing. International companies taking over Australian companies and, claiming Australian-owned, Australian-made. Yeah, that's not a good thing. Bring back our own homemade stuff again. Samantha Smith said, hey, Adil. Oh, hang on, what did Adil say? Okay, Adil says, some say Mandami may implement Sharia law. He might. The heart of Sharia is social justice, welfare, fairness, charity and cohesion. Most Muslim countries operate a hybrid of Sharia and civil law, are slowly reforming and abandoning unethical practices despite the West's portrayal. Well, readers added context to that. While the interpretation and implementation of Sharia law may vary across nations, its impact on women remains predominantly negative in many regions. And Samantha Smith said, hey, Adil, Sharia law is not social justice, welfare, fairness, charity or cohesion. In fact, it's the opposite. Under Sharia law, 6-year-old girls get sold off to men old enough to be their grandfathers and raped, beaten and impregnated. Under Sharia law, women are banned from speaking, showing their faces, going to school and going out in public. Under Sharia law, millions of babies are born with severe congenital defects due to inbreeding and first cousin marriage. Oh, God. Sharia law has no place in civil society. Followers of Sharia law don't want to coexist with other populations. They want to overpower and destroy anyone who doesn't subscribe to their ideology. They don't respect the laws of other societies or even recognise our right to exist. They would kill all infidels in a heartbeat if given the power to. So no, Adil, Sharia law isn't any of the things you claim it to be. It's oppressive, immoral and evil. No one who supports the introduction of Sharia law is a friend of Britain. Frankly, this post alone should be grounds to strip you of that OBE you so proudly flaunt in your display name. Shame on you. Shame. Shame, 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 as Darren Hinch would say here in Australia back in the 80s, 90s. Okay. MJ Truth Ultra said, holy shizzles. Jeffrey Epstein claims James Comey's daughter, Maureen Comey, offered his freedom if he agreed to implicate Donald Trump, according to ex-cellmate. Now you know why Diddy got off pretty lightly. After Epstein's arrest on child sex trafficking charges in 2019, Epstein was transferred to the Metropolitan Correctional Centre in Manhattan, where he shared a cell with ex-cop Nicholas Tartaglione, who was waiting trial before being convicted on quadruple murder charge. Tartaglione claims Epstein, who died a month after being arrested, told him prosecutors had offered to cut a deal if he'd snitch on President Trump, who was then in his first term. Prosecutors told Epstein that if he said President Trump was involved with Epstein's crimes, he would walk free in a petition to be pardoned. Tartaglione claims in a pardon application filed in July and obtained by the New York Post. Epstein told me that lead prosecutor Maureen Comey said that he didn't have to prove anything as long as President Trump's people could not disprove it. According to Maureen Comey, the FBI were her people, not his, President Trump's. The filing states. Do you need to know any more? James Comey, Maureen Comey is James Comey's daughter. Maureen Comey did the Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein and Diddy trials. She was a prosecutor in all three. Not prosecuting very much now, is she? It's all going to come out. It's all going to spill out. Just hang in there. Craig Kelly, Foundation for Economic Something or Other, said sending $1 billion of taxpayer money to fund the 31st annual global climate junket in Adelaide next year could actually be a good investment. Because seeing global climate grifters jet in on a squadron of private jets to lecture us on how we must impoverish ourselves might just be the wake-up call that finally unbrainwashes the gullible who've been lured into the climate cult. Yes, Australia, in particular Adelaide, wants to hold the next COP meeting. So let them all fly in their private jets and let everyone see. Okay, what did Albo say? Oh, yeah, we've introduced new laws requiring streaming services to make Australian content. Rational Aussie said, how about that law that Australia has Australians and not millions of immigrants you import every year during the worst housing crisis on record? That was the one I bookmarked because I didn't want to bookmark Albanese's one. Libs of TikTok said, breaking update, Danville Public Schools released a statement after we exposed their teacher, Sabrina Morris, a man pretending to be a woman, for making a post online threatening to shoot people over pronouns. Morris will reportedly not be present on school grounds while the school conducts an investigation. Get these people out of here. This teacher made violent threats in the name of radical gender ideology. He needs to be fired. Yep. Trans teacher threatening violence to push woke agenda. Sabrina Morris, a man pretending to be a woman, a teacher at Danville Public School in Virginia, made a post online threatening to shoot people if they don't put made-up pronouns into emails. Would you feel comfortable with this person teaching your children? No. Thank you very much. I feel sorry for kids these days. Clownwell said, as a mass exodus from New York to Florida beginning, this realtor says her phone is ringing non-stop after Zohran Mamdani's win. Okay? So people are trying to flee all over the place, and then you've got people who are regretting their vote within a day or two. Yeah, let's see. Let's see what happens. Libs of TikTok, he's only a mayor. Like, he can't really do too much, and Trump's still the president, you know? So it'll be interesting. I'm interested to see what happens. Libs of TikTok said, sent to me by a follower, students attending University 101 classes at the U of SC are reportedly being shown videos on the value of diversity and inclusion in the workplace. Jeez. No more DEI, man. I'd rather have someone qualified to do what they're doing than it be a woman, a man, or a black or white or whatever colour person they feel like putting in there. Your taxpayer dollars are being used to indoctrinate students with DEI propaganda. This violates Trump's executive orders. Well, let's hope that they get found out. Hopefully someone knows who that teacher is and they're getting investigated. J.D. Vance said what the Democrats are doing on the government shutdown is genuinely unprecedented, and while the administration has shielded the American people from the worst of the consequences, all of this is coming in soon. An aviation emergency that will lead to significant travel delays for all Americans, food stamp and other assistance programs running out for needy Americans, great strains on our military and national security. The shutdown has now passed from farce into tragedy, and the consequences of this national emergency, fall on every senator and congressman who refuses to open the government. Can't Trump take over during a national emergency? I'm pretty sure he can. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure he can. Awakened Outlaw said, I anticipate that a lot of this and more will spill out in the relatively near future. Enough to warrant the next step to investigate, perhaps even something explosive in nature to really gin up people's attention. This is important because, in my opinion, the crux of the problemo we're facing is that fixing the 2020 election would require the public to want to go back and relitigate the past, something that's proven time and again not to be the case. And since so many have been sold on the lie that it was above board, you're already fighting an uphill battle right out the gate. Like it or not, many have settled it on the 2020 election being above board. And now, years later, they'd have to have an interest in reconsidering the evidence. That's a tough sell. Wouldn't it make more sense to start with revealing jaw-dropping election fraud that just occurred in real time? Wouldn't it naturally expand from there? We're just getting the process started without being weighed down by the baggage of 2020 debacle looming over everything. Seems like a viable path to get to the same place. Time will tell. I think the logic checks out. Right Angle News Network. Breaking. Conservatives are now pointing to inconsistencies in the New Jersey gubernatorial race after nearly 500,000 new voters appeared from 2021 to 2025, more than double the state's population growth over 4 years, with all of them going to Democrats. Yeah, let's start at the present and, if need be, work backwards. I found this interesting. I don't know if it's true or not. I wish it was. Kim.com said the fall of Zelensky is near. He'll be joined by Ursula von der Leyen, Emmanuel Macron, Friedrich Merz, Keir Starmer, the EU and NATO. We can only hope and dream. Okay, here in Australia, Liberal members have quit and joined One Nation. Our Liberal's supposed to be our Conservative. I know that it's confusing because they're named Liberals. But they're supposed to be our Conservative, and the Labor are supposed to be the left-leaning, and the Greens are even further left-leaning. Oh, my God. But people are leaving the Liberal Party because they're not really the Conservative Party anymore. They're the bend-over party. Okay? Bend over. Yeah, to the other side. Okay. Clandestine said it's insane how much hate I get for trusting Trump. You know, the guy who's been fighting the MSM deep state for 10 plus years, the guy who got indicted and shot, the guy we all voted for and is currently stopping wars around the globe. Yeah, shame on me for trusting that guy. Yeah, shame on me too. Okay. And Oscar nomination for this stunt. This guy is obviously trying to get people to believe that the police pushed him. Look, watch. The person just put up their hand. He has thrown himself backwards and, oh, look at me go. Is that a pretend Aboriginal? Kind of looks like one, sorry. See that? Yeah, Oscar nomination for that one, mate. Not quite. Raymond McCowan said Mr Speaker is being a right dick again. He's allowing Albanese to shout and abuse members on the other side without answering the question. Albanese is delusional, a compulsive, habitual, lying, delusional grub. Good one, mate. I could think of other names too. Come on, man. Albo was called out as a hopeless liar in the Parliament to his face. It's about time this grub Albo's called out. He cannot get to his feet along with his useless ministers and actually speak without uttering nonsense lies. A bunch of putrid liars. I don't know if you can hear that. Why is it so quiet? You're hopeless and a liar. Pointing at Albo. Okay. This is a liar, Albanese. Called out in Parliament for exactly what he is. I don't think it worries him, though. MJ Truth Ultra said Indiana AG sues woke school district that tried to prevent illegal alien from self-deporting with his child. An illegal alien from Honduras decided earlier this year to voluntarily deport so that he could one day apply to return to the US legally. AG Rakita claimed on the day of his family's planned departure, one of his children went to school against his wishes. When the father went to retrieve his son from school to ensure that his family could depart the US together, the school obstructed him and then obstructed ICE from assisting him as well. That is crazy. Indianapolis school, whichever one you were. Holy cow. Madeline Burke said Victoria Police will investigate claims here in Australia that extreme left-wing activists planned a violent attack on officer weeks before the October 19 protests in Melbourne's CBD. Images obtained by the Herald Sun allegedly show instructions from a meeting held at University of Melbourne, urging attendees to throw bricks at police and be militant against fascists. I think the University of Melbourne needs to be held accountable. Did they stop getting some US aid? Just asking, because we know that's what it paid for a lot of left-leaning activists around the world, including ones in universities, media, all that kind of stuff. Joey Manarino said the Islamic invasion of the West isn't just Europe. Dearborn, Michigan is 54% Arab. The Muslim mayor tells Christians you're not welcome. Cops push Arabic badges and Sharia-style silence. New York City just elected a full-blown jihadist who promised to tax white neighbourhoods for his communist utopia. Qatar and Iran fund Muslim Brotherhood and they're funding the takeover. And that's why Obama sent money to Iran on those pallets. It was because he was part of the Muslim Brotherhood and Qatar and Iran fund it. Wall Street Mavericks said the financial arms race in college football is so out of control they're now trying to fundraise in Saudi Arabia. This story is crazy. It's clear that college sports have a major financial crisis that no one wants to talk about. The NCAA as an organisation is unable to function properly in this new era. Coaches get fired and are getting $50 million buyouts on contracts with public universities. This has an impact on sports through the institution. Smaller programs cannot compete. The Sports Broadcasting Act of 1961 is at the root of the issue. It needs to be amended so that a new governing body can replace the broken NCAA. A lot of our governments are broken in so many ways. Awakened Outlaw said if Congress decides to end the filibuster as they should, it changes all the math. This is your once-in-a-lifetime chance to do what needs to be done, which in this case means enacting Trump's agenda, as America voted for. A prime example would be passing a law that fundamentally overhauls our entire election system, which requires voter ID, uses paper ballots, allows only exceedingly rare exceptions for mail-in voting, and provides for one-day elections. This law alone most certainly kneecaps the Democrats to the point that from the next election on, their entire election fraud industry becomes obsolete, and with it evaporates a huge swath of votes they'd otherwise have manipulated. The fact is that if the GOP doesn't, we're pretty much all screwed. But that's also why I think there's a puncher's chance they will. Trump understands that it's now or never. And Booker said, betting markets now have the Dems taking control of the reps in the 26 midterm at 70%. Apathy and low voter turnout will be the reason. GOP doesn't turn out except for presidential races. Just in those two races, that is 1.2 million who stayed home, and that's why the markets have the Dems winning despite their low approval rating. Yes, they better get their arse in gear. Okay, Benny Johnson said this morning I spoke at a small CPAC gathering. I didn't really speak. I just kind of asked the question, how do we save the American dream for young people? This is a critical question for our time. For me, it's housing, getting first-time home buyers into houses and out of the nihilistic renter supercycle. Homes are too damn expensive and totally out of reach for young couples. It's killing the American dream. I want more young first-time home buyers in America. How would you solve this problem? Well done for wanting that. Hopefully, somewhere along the line, we all get it. Katie Daviscourt said breaking DHS agents at the ICE facility in Portland notified protesters that a new policy regarding concealing identities behind facial coverings has gone into effect starting today. Wearing a mask on and or near federal property is now prohibited. Allowing federal agents to apprehend suspects on suspicion, laws may be violated. So they're not allowed to mask up anymore. Malcolm Roberts stating the obvious. We do not need to answer to Julie Inman Grant or Anthony Albanese, nor the UN. We answer to God. It should be obvious, but it's not actually obvious to everybody. Lindell TV said what happened last night wasn't an election, that was manned army. It was a setup. Machines failed in red districts. Poll pads crashed. Bomb threats shut down precincts. Voters were blocked in PA, NJ and Ohio, all on cue. Jason Mieres had a lead. Then came the now familiar fraud curve. And the GOP, too busy funding influencers and pushing early voting to notice. This isn't incompetence, it's a system working exactly as designed. One day, in-person paper ballots hand-counted, everything else is a scam. I'm all for that, actually. We need that here in Australia as well. Libs of TikTok said, meet Angela Walker. She's just elected to Bangor, Maine City Council. She was previously convicted of manslaughter and sentenced to 10 years for killing a tourist, allegedly because he called her a racist name. He was found severely beaten and suffocated with sand stuffed down his throat. And that person, who was sentenced to 10 years for killing a tourist, has just been elected to Bangor, Maine City Council. Bangor, Maine. Wow. Sun Tzu said outside the box thinkers were an unprecedented time. Spiritual warfare on a scale Earth has never witnessed. The ending that's coming, it's locked in. It's going to obliterate minds. Get ready, it'll defy logic. Good guys feeling swamped, but there are way more of us than them. Remember Gideon, 180k elite Syrian killers versus his 30,000, then God whittled it to 300? No swords needed. That's the warfare we're in. You're about to witness what can only be explained by the power of God. Pray. And I do agree with that. Pray right now. Clandestine said, now that dust has settled, can you see how Mandami helps us more than he hurts us? Yeah, things are going to be terrible for New York City, but that place is already a hellhole. Now Trump gets to run on communism versus common sense in 2026. Mamdani just gave MAGA a golden ticket. Trump now has unlimited talking points and can draw more of the middle towards MAGA during the midterms. Now Trump can run on the Dems going full-blown communist, which is a very easy sell. And what price do we Trump supporters have to pay for this? Absolutely nothing unless you live in New York City. It doesn't affect your life at all. He's just a mayor of a city, all us avoid anyway. Trump is still POTUS and holds all the cards. Mamdani supplies us with significant political ammunition at minimal to zero cost. Oh, it's going to be interesting. Oh, and this one. The rubber duck said, question, how do you legally torpedo the big pharma companies selling poison? Answer, publicly cut the price by 96%, then have the maker of the poison collapse in the Oval Office on live TV in front of the President of the United States. This 17 seconds alone is worth more than 10 Super Bowl halftime commercials combined. Brilliant. 17 seconds, hey?
High-value jobs. But today, working okay? High-value jobs.
Did he faint because they publicly gutted the price by 96%? Oh, dear. God, anyway, that was interesting. Sorry, I don't need to laugh. Yeah, 17 again. 17. There's a lot of 17s being thrown around. I think there's a message in there somewhere. Cat Turd said to all the liberal free stuff bums, your dream has come true. All you have to do is move to New York City. The mayor there has promised everything in your life will be free. Here's your chance to live your dream of being free stuff king of the world. Millions of you should move to New York City as soon as possible and claim your free stuff prize. And then build a wall around it and send all the conservatives over the wall, right? And build a wall around it and keep them in there. Living the dream. Living the dream. Okay, Lozzie B said breaking. Muhammad El-Mahalali. Okay, is the man in charge of Australia's halal certification. He says Australian women need Muslim men to fertilise them to keep them surrounded by Muslim babies, and declaring that the white race will be extinct in 40 years. Muslims have a duty to make your women happy because you are declining. Better go choose a plot for yourself at your local cemetery. If you can afford it, commit suicide. Oh, no way. He didn't say that, did he? He did, apparently. Take yourself out as cheaper alternative for bigots, he said. Halal certification Australia is funding the Muslim Brotherhood. This is only the tip of the iceberg. No, we don't, thank you very much. You can go to hell, mate. No. Retards down under found marine for rook. Fuck you. Sorry, I just say that because, fuck you. Congratulations, Marine, on becoming the 14th member. Marine. I can't even say a name properly. 14th member of the Retards Down Under HOF. This fat racist and Australian slug is well overdue being part of the HOF. She cares more about issues in other countries than here. She should piss off back to where she came from, where she can worry about those other countries, and not from here. Australian Patriot said One Nation leader Pauline Hanson's making waves in the US, delivering a powerful address at President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort during the Conservative Political Action Conference, CPAC, in Florida. The only Australian invited to the global conservative gathering, Pauline didn't hold back, blasting Labor and Liberals for turning Australia into what she called an economic and social tinderbox, while praising President Trump's strong stance on border protection and national pride. And many years ago, I remember Trump saying something about a redhead in Australia. many, many years ago. Pauline Hanson is who he was talking about. She said, it's wonderful to be in America with a strong patriotic leader who puts his people first, she said. Australians could learn a lot from that. Her speech will tackle major issues from mass migration and rising crime to homelessness and the failure of the major parties to look after ordinary Australians. With One Nation polling at a record 15%, because they're way up, Pauline says Australians are fed up and ready for a real change. She's already preparing to launch candidates in South Australia and Victoria with a clear message. One Nation can hold government, not just support it. One Nation, our movement is growing fast, and this international spotlight shows One Nation's message is being heard loud and clear across the world. Go, Pauline. Pauline also said it was an honour to speak at CPAC 2025 at Mar-a-Lago, and I want to thank the incredible organisers and the American people for such a warm welcome. It was refreshing to stand in a room where common sense still matters, where strong borders, national pride, energy independence and putting your own people first aren't dirty words, they're priorities. In just 1 year under President Trump's leadership, America is turning itself around. Meanwhile, back home, Australia is heading in the opposite direction. We're dealing with 740,000 immigrants a year during a housing crisis, runaway debt, spiralling inflation and services under strain, a left-wing cultural war waged against truth, biology and free speech, a government that listens to unelected globalists before its own citizens, working Australians being pushed down while foreign interests are propped up. One Nation is rising because we speak the truth and we say what millions of Australians are thinking, even if the media won't report it. We are a generous country, we believe in a fair go, but that doesn't mean sacrificing our values and way of life or our future. Australians are fed up, they're ready to turn this country around, and One Nation's ready to lead the way. I won't stop fighting to make Australia strong and proud once again. Thank you again to CPAC and to Andrew Cooper from CPAC Australia for his kind words and for the incredible work he's doing for the conservative politics in Australia and around the world. Holy guacamole. There we go. It didn't jump far. Okay, and I think that's it. Yep, it is. An hour and 15, 16 minutes of news. Okay, let's go to the comments. Look, I'm way back. I'm way back in the comments. Oh, there you go. It just jumped for me. So I may not be able to read all the comments, but I'll go back as far as I can. Okay. Shannon said, let's send Hev a text. No sound, watch a freak it. No, don't do that, please. You'll stuff me up. I'll start playing with things and then there really won't be any sound, Shannon. So don't do that. J1 says, school right down the lane. Paul said, Singles. Out to lunch, said Deb, I've siphoned a septic tank. That gave the water a shitty taste. Oh, my God, yuck. Deb said, my first thought that it was you texting Hev, Shannon. Zal said, Hev needs a controversy corner. Shannon said, here's a mint. Deb said, oh, my God, yes, now I've given away my age away. George said, I'd rather drink beer than shitty water. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't like beer, but I think I'd rather drink beer than shitty water. Oh, no, I wouldn't. No, I don't like getting drunk. Out to lunch, said Deb, I siphoned a septic tank with a water hose. Oh, yuck. Oh. Shannon said, I was stuck 25 seconds in the past, so I had some catch-up. Good on you, Shannon. George said, we have a criminals released by mistake in the UK. Oh, ours are on purpose. Cassandra said, follow the white rabbit, Elon. Yeah, sometimes I pick these little messages up, right, that it's a very short message that they write on X. And for some reason, I think it's a message. But I do think it's a message. I think they're warning us to get ready. Sal said, the latest cause for the renter crowd. Exactly. Yeah, Deb said, dead in the brain, sit on the road. Yes. Out to lunch said, those people look like military-aged illegals. Mm-hmm. Shannon said, Swiss driver more useful than a Swiss Army knife. There you go, Shannon. George said, the white rabbit, the Matrix. Paul said, they're making a big mistake. Trump demands Republicans terminate filibuster. Reads a list of bills they could pass. If it doesn't make any sense that a Republican would not want to do that. Yeah, infiltration, not invasion. Out to lunch. Sal said, shame on those people carrying out the slaughter of the ostriches. Yeah, I agree. Shannon said, follow the white rabbit. We've got to follow the white rabbit, guys. Okay. Alex said that made me want to cry earlier, those poor ostriches. I know. That's why I didn't want to play them. I didn't want to play them, the lady crying, because it'd make me cry too. And I didn't want to hear them being shot either. That's disgusting. That is absolutely disgusting. And our government are disgusting for killing koalas as well, to make way for their stupid solar panels and wind farms. They're all evil, disgusting swamp scum. Okay, they're swamp scum. That's what I think they are. Cassandra said the evil are desperate RE ostrich murders. Yep. Deb said, I don't like the news. Alex said, these people will pay for what they've done. Yes, they will. Shannon said, this is how we got the emu war. George said, the news is depressing, Deb. Cassandra said, yeah. Alex smacked my head. Out to lunch said, can an ostrich be a satanic sacrifice? I don't know. It's a bird. It's a big chicken, maybe. I don't know. Sal said, once Trump reads the leaders of certain countries as to what's really going on worldwide, they submit. Yep. Paul said, ostrich is a grown-up emu. Lol. Out to lunch said, can an ostrich... Oh, I already read that one. Went to town today, first time since last week. Cool. Shannon said, the world isn't just black and white. There's also a load of greys. Yeah, that too. George said, if you want Sharia law, go to the Middle East. Exactly. Go over there. If you want Sharia law so badly, like I showed in yesterday's video, that lady who was so excited to have, she wants Sharia law. I want her to be sent over to the Middle East and see how it is. Zal said, also kicked out of here, Shannon. Alex said, the British veteran did make me cry, made me think of my poor Yeah, exactly, that it does. I felt so sorry for her, and I feel sorry for all the soldiers who are dead right now because they fought in wars for our freedom, and look at us now. Out to lunch said, I think Sharia law was in Florida. Or Sharia law, however you want to pronounce it. Alex said it was all for nothing with the state of the shithole now, yeah. J1 said, Shannon, every colour of the rainbow, apparently. Shannon said, ostrich will hide its head in the sand, emu will kick the shit out of you. Yeah, emus will with their very big claws. Deb said, so sorry you had to see. It was in vain. Yep. Sal said, listen to these media ghouls mollycoddle the old bloke. Yeah, I know. While they actually support the opposite, half of them. Sherry said, ostrich eggs have great medicinal purposes they do not want us to know. Oh, Sherry, good point. Out to lunch said, is that a real soldier or AI? J1 said, I'd be wary of a cassowary. Oh, definitely. Yeah, you don't want to go near a cassowary. They will gut you with their claws. That's an Australian bird, isn't it? I don't know if they're anywhere overseas, but I know the cassowaries are in Australia, but is it an Australian native bird? I think it is. Deb said, yes, we respect their sacrifice. Sal said, how old was he in World War II? Probably 17. George said, this man fought for our freedom, for his politicians to take our freedoms from us. Exactly. Shannon said, she's got big hands. Alex said, 14. I think my granddad was 15 when he started driving tanks in World War II. There you go. It was younger than I thought. Yep. Why is it going up instead of down? Out to lunch said mollycoddle, mean what, please? Mollycoddle is like, oh, you poor thing, oh, you cuddle, you need a cuddle. And mollycoddle is, oh, how would you say it? Someone in the yeah, okay, Sal's done it. Mollycoddle means to treat someone with excessive indulgence and protection, often to the point of being overly kind, gentle, or protective. Yes. Shannon said it's hot pants, Tedros. Yes. Alex said, yes, it disgusts me, George. Starmer rubs his hands with glee, though he knows he's destroying it all. Hang on, I've got a cough. Sorry, I've got a frog. George said, Starmer will burn in hell, Alex. Shannon said, Bay of Pigs, all lies. Sal said, what the male equivalent of a Karen? I don't know. Shannon said, Pearl Harbor. Deb said, mollycoddling has become a big problem with people. Oh, yes, it has. It's like enabling people in their victimhood, kind of. Not really, but like, no, overly, like Sal said, it's overly making a big deal, you know? Over kindness kind of thing. It's very weird. Out to lunch, said I seen that Jesus in Latin means earth pig? Oh no. Deb said despicable mother and father. Out to lunch, says Zal, that is what I thought. Alex said, did he fake that? I feel sorry for that poor child. Yep. Shannon said faking, seizing, lol, actor award. Sal said glasses, saggy chins, rounded shoulders, dumpy looking and usually obesity are all common Karen traits. Paul said, I must be invisible. No, you're there, Paul. I can see you. Alex said, I don't think he'll be on the Oscar list for that, Shannon. Shannon said, who said that? Out to lunch said, thought he was being tased. No, he was chucking a, yeah, he was pretending to have a seizure. Deb said, how long can you have geriatrics run the country? J1 said, lols. Alex said, I can see you, Paul. George said, I see you, Paul. Shannon said, we have a hoist in the chat. It sounds like Paul. Hey? I don't even know what that means, Shannon. Oh. Okay, hang on. Where is it? Okay, Paul said, Alex, I'd better get dressed then. Shannon said, you're a ghost, Paul. No, I'm kidding. Alex said, yes, people are a lot weaker now, Deb. Deb said, I can see you, Paul. Out to lunch said, Paul, you here enjoying the ride. No getting off yet. Dealey said, sorry, I'm late, Hev. That's cool. Paul said, I'm just being a Kevin. There you go. Might be Kevin. Karen and Kevin, maybe. Alex said, could be Kevin. A lot of the men probably just put a frock on now and are also Karens anyway. Yeah. It's a good one, Alex. Oh, dear. That was a good one, Alex. Out to lunch said, I'd be happy to get back to when only the government had the internet. Oh, yeah. George said, did Pelosi retire? Yes, apparently. Out to lunch and street lights were the alarm to get home. Yes, I remember that. Shannon said, who comes too quickly will be depleted. Wait, that's the Kama Sutra, not the art of war, says Shannon. Dealey said, George, I heard she retired. George said, about time, Deb. Alex said, apparently 38 years of robbing Americans blind. Shannon said she ran out of insider trading tips. Yep. Deb said, I bet she had some encouragement to retire. Alex said, oh, glug, Pelosi. J1 said, shutdown will go 41 days. Trump gets extra powers then. That's what I was wondering. I read that the other day. Hang on, who was that? Oh, shoot. Yep, J1. Yeah, I was reading that the other day. After a certain amount of time, he gets certain powers. George said, Sharia law is not about fairness. Out to lunch, have we seen Dr. Tim yet? Not yet, no. I'm going to have to message him to see if he's available tomorrow. This mouse is really weird. I need to find my batteries. That's what I need to do. Deb said, Zal hogging the naughty corner now from Shannon. Paul said, in America, Aldi has self-checkout trolleys that even weigh fruit and vegetables. Oh, my God. Really? Shannon said, I like a man who's always prepared. Could you please put this empty pineapple juice box in the bin? Is that rude? Or I hope not. Shannon, I just read it. Alex said, it was about bloody time. Most of our corporate governments are geriatrics, Deb. Out to lunch said, Sharia law hands cut off for stealing, right? Yep. Dealey said, one of my local Walmarts took the self-checkout out. Good. Sal said, like you see here in Australia, the men walking around in T-shirts and shorts while the women are covered head to toe. Yep. Alex said, Tim Ayres unfortunately still at work with the time difference. Out to lunch. There you go. Shannon said, at least some of the tracky dacks have juicy written across the back. Paul said, imagine Muslims coming into your home to dictate how you have to live. No alcohol or pork. George said, what time zone is Timmy? Deb said they're trying, Paul. Shannon said Sharia law is halal. Out to lunch said, you think the dentist chair in Ease Paradise was to remove teeth? Also, why? Zal said, no, most Aussies are leftoid sympathisers. Well, you know they said the dental chair. Well, when they showed one of them, I don't know if it was the same one, but it looked like one of the chairs that you would sit in to get facials done in with the, I don't know, it's very similar, okay? To a chair you would get facials in. And when I mean a facial, I mean a full, deep facial where they get magnifying glasses on your pores and get the shit out of your pores and then do all this shit to your face. I don't know if you've ever... I was training as one for a while. Had to give it up because I was too sick. But yeah, it's like deep beauty spa stuff, you know, like deep cleaning your face and stuff like that. But I don't know. Again, I don't know. Zal said, no, most Aussies are leftoid sympathisers. Alex said, Mountain Standard Time, George. Paul said, Zal, women have to ride in the back of the car. Shannon said, the best source of DNA is extracted from teeth. Out to lunch said, Timmy, probably 3. Zal said, yes, Paul, second-class citizens. Ruff said, I've been hearing Harold's Boots for 20 years, probably Australia's oldest family-owned company, making boots since around 1870. Good boots. Oh, good. You've been wearing Harold's Boots. I have to look them up. J1 wants this.
Woman, get back in here and make me a sandwich.
Okay. J1 said, make me a sandwich. Shanna said Epstein was into cloning. Out to lunch at 1 hour or less. Alex said nearly 4 p.m. there. I don't think he finishes until 5. Yep, George said, hi, Ruff. Out to lunch said 4:55 p.m. here now, Mississippi. Shanna said baby farms adrenochrome. Oh, hey, Ruff, where are you? Oh, yeah. I didn't say hello to you, Ruff. I feel rude. Sorry about that. How you going, Ruff? Good to see you. Zal said, when will someone teach those teachers a lesson they so desperately need? Dealey said, hopefully sooner rather than later, Zal. Deb said, it's afternoon for Tim Mayer, 3:54 p.m. in Colorado. Out to lunch said, grow them like cattle. Alex said, I think you're the same time zone as my auntie and uncle in Missouri. Out to lunch. Dealey said, Zorro Ranch is its own little town. Paul said, what about the woman at Gold's Gym for complaining about a man in the change room who lost a membership? Yeah, I heard something about that, Paul, but I haven't looked deeply into it. George said, I was so glad to have been in school back in the 70s. Me too, 70s and 80s. Holy shit, in the 90s were good, sort of, but that's when it started turning, I think. Shannon said he owns all the properties around it as well for hundreds of miles. It's an isolated military base. Alex said, I know what you mean. I wouldn't send any child to school now. It's 10 times the brainwashing nowadays. Zal said, Labor and Liberal are all cabal placeholders. Yep. George said, when I was in school, at least they taught you something. Yeah, exactly. Shannon said, more actors, he must play soccer. Deb said, maybe it's Timmy texting, or is it Shannon? No, I think I had a call from someone I know. Yeah. I'll have to ring them back when I jump off. It's not Timmy, though. But I will message him and ask him if he can join tomorrow. Alex said that copper must have used the Force, Star Wars style. Deb said probably play football with that drama queen. Shannon said the Force is strong in that one. Shannon said, don't make me break your windows. Shannon said Aussie rules is football. Paul said, George, the cane behind the door sorted you out quick smart. Yeah, they kept that cane behind the door. Give you the cane if you got in trouble at school. Conchega said our parliament is fraudulent. They are illegitimate. And why give them oxygen? Yeah, I know, but I think it's going to be sorted out eventually, Conchega, and I think Pauline is the answer to do that. I know you don't agree, and that's fine, but that's just the way I think because, yeah, aligned with Trump, okay? I think giving freedom back is one of the biggest things Shannon said, soccer, FYI, that shape on the ball is also the chemical shape of adrenochrome. George said, Aussie rules is like Gaelic football. Shannon said, Windows needs an update. Out to lunch said, blood can be seen from space where they're killing thousands of Sudan Africans. Conchega said, Shannon, Aussie rules bears no resemblance to the sport it used to be. These days it's a long run with occasional kick or handball. Alex said, if people knew all corporate governments would lose all their power and everyone would have abundance of stuff to eat, drink and live comfortably. Alex said, they've kept people in so much fear for so many years, but hopefully not much longer. George said, I updated myself yesterday with a long sleep, Shannon. Yeah, I need one now. I was up half the night cleaning floors. That happens when you have elderly parents who have, things happen. Things get spilt and, you got to clean the floor in the middle of the night, so... God love them, poor things. It's a lot of work, though, I've noticed, moving in here. But luckily, because I've taken a little bit of weight off my daughter for looking after my parents, so I'm here looking after them too. Shannon said, just stay away from that blue screen of death. Oh, God, yeah. Conchega said, hey, mate, how did the gig go and how did that numbing of the fretting hand? Alex said, the housing ladder is non-existent here, although I don't think I'd want to be trapped in mortgage, to be honest. Yeah, Shannon, 17 again. Dolores, how you doing? Where'd she go? There. Just wanted to say hello. Things are not going well with my health. If I don't come back, I just want you all to know how much you've meant to me. Oh, Dolores. Everyone pray for Dolores, please. Father in heaven, please look after Dolores. Please make her health better than it is. Help her improve. Stand by her side. We're all standing with her and praying for her. Amen. Dolores. God love you. Alex said people end up paying into a mortgage their whole lives, never end up owning anything. Delia said, oh, Dolores, lifting you up in healing prayers, definitely. Shannon said, this is Sparta. 300. I don't know. Did I do it right, Shannon? Oh, Dolores, I feel for you. Yeah, Alex said, hey, Dolores, sorry to hear you're not doing too well. Been praying every day for you and continue to do so. Sending you love and God bless. George said, hope you get better soon, Dolores. Sal said, Conchega, yeah, your gig went well. Bad sound guy, though. Fingers seem okay. Didn't play for a few days and fingers softened up. George said, I watched the 300 movie the other day. I've never seen it. Sal said, going to use the Gibson Midtown Bass next gig. Dealey said, see how Kennedy ducks away? Yep, Paul said 17 again, right on cue. Shannon said, man down. Out to lunch said, have any of you guys had a bad feeling about something, later found out you shouldn't have done or didn't do something, an instinct you communicating with yourself in the past because you lived it? Yeah, I think, yeah. Yeah. That's your gut instinct telling you, don't do it or do it. Alex said, please try and stay positive. Email Hev so I can get in contact with you. We're all here for you, Dolores. Sal said, Lozzie B is not far off from the truth. Cassandra said they fly Kurt Russell in with a patch over his eye. Or then fly in Kurt Russell with a patch over his eye. Shannon said, Moose Savaru, I've seen this bullshit before. Zal said, so what, the halal certifying grub is okay, not racist or inciting violence, etc. No problem in the eyes of the libtards in charge. Shannon, yeah, escape from La New York, Snake Plissken. Paul said, not sausages again. No. Have. Deb said, just know how important you are to us, Dolores. Yes, praying definitely for you. Deb said, Sharia law is what Pauline's been talking about the whole time, since the 90s. She's been warning about it, and here we are. Out to lunch, our cardboard box is paid off now. It costs to keep it up. Yeah, unfortunately. You never truly own it. You've got to pay land rates every year. George says, Starmer wants the sausages released. Shannon said, I think they've been diddling Pauline's numbers. I don't like it. Please explain. Paul said, Fat Cat Gina was there as well. Yes, she is. Out to lunch said, Pauline did comedy too, right? No, they made fun of her, but I don't think she did much comedy herself. Conchega said, I bet you slayed it to have a look at some neck exercises, probably C3. Where'd that go now? Holy cow. Where did it go? Oh my God, where am I? I'm lost in the comments. I've lost it. And now I've gone too far. No? No, because Tim is here now. So I haven't gone too far yet. You think a Darren is a male equivalent of Karen, Shannon? I can't find the C3. Okay, anyway, some neck exercises there for you, whoever it was. Sorry. Oh, shoot. Someone said, well, what is my mouse doing? Oh, there it is. Look, it took me straight back there. Anyway, Shannon said, she's a threat to them by how much she was demonised in the media. Yes. VA Gina Reinhart. Deb said, I'm disgusted with an elbow and Gina Reinhart pushing new money-making schemes. J1 said, out to lunch. That could be you and the quantum being both 1 and 0 at the same time. Mama Pillow, how you going? My first of your live stream. Thanks. Oh, thank you for joining us. Conchega said, Pauline Hanson plays both sides. She attends Gina Reinhart's Christmas party and slurps all the free wine, controlled opposition. I don't think so, but that's just me. And I think Trump likes Gina Reinhart. Yep, everyone's welcoming Mama Pillow to the madhouse, yes. Deb says, no, it's been hard enough to set up stream. Out to lunch said, my crypto sucks lately. Yes, it's fallen, hasn't it? It'll be right. Just hang in there. That's why you buy it. Just hang on. Shannon said, yes, Tales from the Crypt isn't what it used to be. Nancy Pelosi, that's what that reminds me of. Alex said, does that Q post say anything about the white rabbit? Yes, it does. Yes. Out to lunch said, Jay, I may invest aside is down. If you can remind me tomorrow, because I've done a really long stream today and I kind of wanted to jump off early. I've got things. There's a lot to do when you move into a house of 9 other people. There's a lot of sorting and organising and working stuff out, So that's what, we're trying to do at the moment. So out to lunch said, J1, I may invest while it's down. Is that what you mean? Yep. Zal said, demon minions are still in power for the optics. Shannon said, a chicken on stilts is what a ostrich is. Conchega said, One Nation's nothing more than a registered business, not a political party. There's no mention of political party in our constitution. You back One Nation, you're a traitor to it. No, I don't think so, Conchega. They all had to. And I think we're owned by the US anyway. That's just me. Shannon said, gays for Sharia. J1 said, I'll agree to disagree with you, Conchega, anyway. J1 said, out to lunch, the whole market is down, all good. Utility and iOS will boom very soon. Yes, just hang in there. Free flights one way. Paul said, swaddling. Shannon said, Darren is a male equivalent of Karen. Zal said, I wonder where Darren Booker is these days. Yeah, I hope he's all right. Deb said they want to go and protect their country, even at 15, 16-year-old lied about their age to help. Yes, they did. Tim has joined us. Hello, everyone. Hev show starts 2 hours earlier for me now, thanks to the time changes. Had a cancellation at the end of the day, so I'm finally able to join. Cool. Wondering if I can ask you, Tim, if you can join us tomorrow for a medical stream. Alex said, like wrapping people in cotton wool, never letting them experience the real world, and why you get things like that screaming meme man now. Deb said, just look at the kids, screaming kids not getting what they want. Yeah. Everyone's saying, hey, Timmy. Mama Pillow said, hi all, thanks for the welcome. I went to feed the dog. Cool. Dooley said, doctor in the house, in the chat. Sorry, Timmy. What are you hoisting there? Oh, autocorrect changed from ghost to hoist. That's what it was. Okay. Cassandra said, lol, Alex, R.E. Mal, Karen in frocks. Ego Shredder, hey, going. Hey, folks, what's happening? I just came from another hilarious lane audit stream at a migrant hotel. He was pretending to look for his cat in the car park edge. Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay, let me find something to read. Mama Pillow said the attorney Andrew Branco YouTube says 60 days, but many are saying 40 days to permanently furlough some government workers. Yes, that's it, actually, Mama Pillow. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. So there you go. Maybe 60 days or 40 days. It depends who's right, really. Yeah, hopefully he can. Deb said Shannon's mind is always in the naughty corner. Yes, it is. Alex said if you take your batteries out, rub them in your hands for about 20 seconds, the electricity in your hands will give them a new lease of life. I've tried that before, though. Out to lunch said mountain time, right, Mr. T? Oh, Paul, you have to contact him. Like email won't do it. You need to actually talk to Dr. Timmy Paul. Where am I? Holy shit, I can't find it. There it is. Because it's too much in it. Via email, he can't get the right information. He might have to ask. Whereas a voice call, even over Skype or something, even over Signal, doesn't have to be a video conference call or anything, just to ring him up. Deb said, I love the videos of vegans living next door to people barbecuing. Yes. Ego Shredder said, stick one battery in each ear and hold it with your fingers. Oh, dear. Oh, good on you, Ego Shredder. Okay. Out to lunch said, Alex, I'd say take the ones out of the remote control. Oh, dear. Innuendoed. It does work, though, said Alex. Deb said, school couldn't teach me a thing. They couldn't get me into their boxes. Tim S. said, I should be available tomorrow. Just a little yard work to get done is all that's on the agenda for tomorrow. Good. Ego Shredder said, did anyone see the news that the Fed quietly pumped $30 billion into liquidity bonds to prop up the system? Something big happening with that. I didn't see that. Shannon said that's why it features in the Dixie Pixar movie Monsters, Inc., which is about adrenochrome harvesting kids, screams for power. Yep. Alex said, call in will be fun, Timmy. Now we can hopefully sort out all the sound problems. Yeah, I just can't share the screen with Timmy. As I'm reading it, he's going to have to either listen to me or watch YouTube and be 30 seconds to a minute behind what I'm actually reading. I'll have to work it out. Like, surely there's a way. Shannon said, Timmy does yard work. Well, he does now that ICE has cleaned up the illegals. Shannon. I'm pretty sure Timmy never hired any illegals to do yard work. Yeah, Cassandra said, prayers, Dolores. Shannon said, was windy here today, fill my pool with leaves. Oh. Alex said, do you mean remind you of the white rabbit? Oh, shoot. What was that about? I told you to remind me of something now. I've forgotten, Alex. Can anyone else remember? What did I get Alex to remind me of tomorrow to look up? Not the white rabbit. It was something to look up. Alex said, I've been thinking of Darren Booker, sending him and his wife Debbie love and prayers. I know he had a really bad heart attack last year. Hope he's okay and we see him soon. I hope so. God, I hope he's all right. I hope everyone's all right. Sending love and prayers to anyone who needs it right now, okay? And I think with that, I am going to wrap it up for today. Oh, you said remind you. The White Rabbit was on the Q thing. Yes, sorry, yes. Remind me about Q and the White Rabbit. Okay. I wonder if I could quickly look it up now, actually. Hang on. Just give me a second. Of course. Hurry up and verify, ignore and proceed. Thank you very much. And let's look for... I've turned the keyboard on, the White Rabbit. It's not already there somewhere, is it? Oh, God love you, Deb.
Deb Richardson donated $3.25. Hello Heaven Heavites, love and prayers to all of our Have family that are unwell, you are all very loved, and not to forget hello to the pussies too.
Oh, God love you, Deb. Yep, my cats. Okay. One post, by the look of it. SA access closed, which is Saudi Arabia. Epstein Island access closed. Haiti access closed. North Korea access closed. This is to the CIA, I think. China access closed. Russia access closed. Cuba access closed. Sudan access pending. Government SA US push. Syria access pending government. Yemen access pending government. Saudi Arabia and US push. Libya access pending, main port closed, limited. Somalia access pending, Saudi Arabia US push. HRC Alice. Saudi Arabia Wonderland. Who are the White Rabbits? Read drops Saudi Arabia. Have faith for God and country. Q. There you go. So that was what the White Rabbit was about. Shannon said Matrix movie, The White Rabbit. Shannon said is the tattoo on the chick's shoulder. Oh, there you go. Oh, why am I jumping all over the place? There you go. So I've done it. Dealey said much love to everyone. Okay, Deb was suspiciously silent. She was cavorting with the anonymous robot man. Okay, well, with that, I'm going to go, guys. I hope you have a good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. And I'll talk to you soon. Have a good one, guys. Bye. Back tomorrow.